Morning. Been awake for an hour and a half, 2 hours by this point. It's almost 6. I was going to try and leave sometime last night, but I hadn't slept really at all. I had like an hour and a half of sleep, 2 hours when that person showed up. Ironically, it kind of reminded me of the night that I woke up in the middle of a meltdown and instead of kind of letting it take its course a little bit or trying to calm things down, it was straight, let's follow this guy through the house screaming at him, telling him to quit being a piece of shit and an asshole. That triggered a whole lot of shit yesterday, and I think she enjoyed every moment of it. Narcissists like to do things to try and trigger those negative reactions or emotions because they thrive off of it. And they don't just do this to, like, the person they're with at home. They do it in a quiet way to even their friends, their family, and so forth. They thrive off of people's pain and suffering. They thrive off of negative shit. For example, like if she wasn't pulling shit here at home so that she could, neglecting the relationship, isolating me, alienating the piss out of me, demonizing the living shit out of me on social media behind my back to damn near everybody I fucking knew, except for the people who witnessed her shit that she blocked. Because they know what she is. They know what she's been doing. Some of them outright have witnessed it and listened to her what she's done. And so some of the things that she'll also do is she'll even use her friends and on. She'll do things to trigger a certain reaction. Or if their friends are going through like a difficult moment, she wants to go play hero. Other things that she would do is over the years, because she lost her kids, and I'll give her this one, she definitely loves her kids. But I don't know how much of that is true anymore. Is it a tool to get somebody's sympathy, attention, that energy? Because now I have to look back at everything and question everything. I can't help but look back when her friends that she's obsessed over, Bray and Jason, she had no problems going right to her husband when his wife, Bray, was handed a phone number from some dispensary place, from some dude who either owned it or whatever, wanting to do a backdoor deal with her. Caused a little fight right there, and then she got to be kind of the hero, the mediator. Other times, she would call, and I think she would do it on purpose, knowing that her friend's husband's going to answer and how her friend reacts to this shit. I think she called knowing that her friend's husband, Jason, was going to answer. And then when they hung up, it was going to cause a fight. Because that's exactly what it did. Her friend got pissed. It was like, don't you be calling my husband, blah, 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 blah. Most don't have a problem causing these things and then saying, well, I'm sorry, I can't help it. He just happened to answer the phone. They have a good excuse for it. They always have an excuse, a rebuttal, or an argument for why they're not responsible for anything that they're doing. And a lot of times it'll be done in such a way that most people who are not aware or doesn't know this person are going to immediately just, calm down. Okay, well, blah, 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 blah. I've watched this happen a lot between those two and my ex. She'll even come home and talk shit about her friend, and then that's how she made sure her friends and I don't converse, because I don't like her friends and her friends don't like me. And it's because of the shit talking she did between both sides. Between how that woman treats her husband and the guy looks like a fucking Jesus with no balls because she demasculated the piss out of that guy. While simultaneously she would turn around and go, yeah, her and I are so much alike. And I was like, I'm afraid that if that's what you think, that's, you two are that much alike, then that woman's a really fucked up human being too. Because I saw how she treats her husband, and then I got to listen to it a lot from my ex, talking shit. That's why I didn't like her friends at all. Let alone the fact that her friends are a part of the toxic bullshit that's been going on. Her friends are a part of causing extra, problems within the relationship. And that's what she does. She, as a narcissist, she'll use these other people as sort of a tool to create a problem. Just like she's done to me, just like she's done to our son. Most narcissists, especially in co-parenting, they're going to alienate the living piss out of the other parent. They're going to use the child to do it. They're going to use the child to punish that other parent. And then as the child gets older, they've not only ruined that child, now that child's suffering from parental alienation syndrome. So now no matter what happens, even if that child is a mature age and knows better, they're still going to react the same way and act the same way as they did when they were a child being used as a punishing tool in the other parent. They were trained. And that ruins the child's life. It ruins any relationship they might have had with the other parent. All of that. It does equally as much damage to the child as the intended person that you were using the child to target. It's like other people. Friends that her and I have known since high school that I myself hadn't talked to since high school or even seen. And I shouldn't be knowing certain things about people's lives. It's like somebody that I dated a little bit in middle school before her, but we just ended up being friends. And she talked about how her friend Tiffany and everything. I guess she's been in 3 or 4 marriages now. And half of them are between 2 brothers or whatever. And so kind of pretty much, using that situation of a friend going, well, she did, marrying one brother and having kids with him and then marrying the next brother and having kids with him. And then that ending. And her pretty much her whole idea was, at least it wasn't as bad as me because, where I'm concerned, because not only was she with me, she ended up turning around after her and I split. She decided to hook up with my best friend, and then when she learned when it came out that dude was a pedophile, which our friendship pretty much ended near there. I miss my buddy, I miss my friend, but what he did was really fucked up. Some of those people do learn from their actions, and I do give him credit that he went a long way to the point that he corrected his shit enough, got help enough, did all that, learned from his mistakes good enough or to a point that he's actually a pretty damn good parent and of all things with his kids. You wouldn't expect it. So like I said, some people learn, others don't learn. They get that institutionalized type mentality, and they just find a better way and try to get smarter at how they commit their crimes. So sometimes you still have to watch for that. But she went from my best friend to my cousin. So, yeah, and sitting at a baby shower, she proceeded to brag about how she kept it in the family. Well, I brought that up to her before that conversation about her friend. And then when I found out about our friend Tiffany being married to one brother to the next, it was kind of like her way of going, well, it wasn't as bad as or that's worse than what I did type thing. Because she knows how I feel about that shit. That's some pretty fucked up shit. Even if it's like your best friend, that's like your brother, like your absolute, we're damn near inseparable to the point we may as well have had the same parents. Or the same mom or dad type thing. I don't feel comfortable with that shit. It makes me feel awkward. It's just not right. And I know it does happen. I mean, shit. That's a Hunter Biden move. and yeah. And I'm not trying to make it political either. This person thrives off of people hurting. And she spent a number of years watching what my aunt was doing. And then when she got a job with the county up in Clackamas County, working with people with disabilities, stuff like that, helping them find jobs and everything, she watched her get away with a lot of shit, and she always wondered how'd she get away with that. And it's because the police will not investigate other county employees. They can't, especially down here. So in order to get past it, you have to go over their heads. You have to go to government agencies. You have to go to state level and federal level to be able to deal with this type of shit. Otherwise, you got to do what I've been doing and just go fucking public. Just make it public. Because these people are going to put your life in danger, and they're going to keep putting your life in danger. And they're going to act like they're a victim through the whole thing, and that's to justify why they're doing what they're doing. I love that woman. I miss her every day. And like I said, that is why I have to get as far away as possible, because she's dangerous. She knows how I feel about her. And it doesn't matter what she does to me. I'm still in love with her. I still miss her. I still wish she was here with me. But I also know that this will never end. She likes to... She'll do the love bomb techniques where she might come home and bring home like, hey, here's your favorite candy bar type thing. Or sudden attention here and there. You know, even if it's for a couple days. And then she'll go right back to her shit. That's to keep you to kind of keep you hooked, keep you going, and give you just enough of that feel good energy to make you think, well, is it gonna get any better? It never gets better. It gets more manipulative. It gets more exploitive. It gets more mentally and psychologically dangerous. I've said this to her before, and I'll say this to people here. Somebody who's known a person like this for a long time, they have a history. A lot of times those people are going to have more patience. They're going to have more resiliency to those types of abuses because they'll keep looking to that history. So I always did. Still do. You can see that in some of my videos because I can compare what it was like even when we first got back together to now. I was nothing like this. But when you listen to your other half constantly comparing you to her ex-husband and then talking about how they would fantasize about killing their ex-husband, what do you think that's doing to your brain? Those are called quiet threats. Anybody else after a year or two of that type of abuse would eventually leave, or they eventually become exactly the person that they walk around and tell everybody that they are. And I mean exactly. Most of the time when somebody has a built-up history with you, knows your good and bad side, not whether they realize what you are or not, they know you. They know your habits. They know your quirks. They're more than likely to put up with that shit. Most strangers, most new people that don't have a history, they're going by what they know at face value from that moment on. And then they have to go by with what that person tells them. And that person will never tell them the truth. They will never be at fault for anything. They will never be, the victimizer or the abuser. They will always be the abused, always be the victim. They will always be the helpless one when really they're the one who has the path of bodies behind them that are hurting, that they destroyed. From their own children to their own spouses to their own significant others to their own family members, friends, all that shit. And the sad part is when it comes to friends, as long as the friends keep allowing it or don't recognize what's going on, this person's going to keep doing to them too. But they don't do it in such blatant ways and that it necessarily destroys those relationships right away. They only do it once in a while when they're not getting that energy they need at home or from someone else. They'll still do it to their friends. And like I said a little bit ago, one of the ways that they keep, say their friends and their significant other, or sometimes even one group of friends separate from the other, they talk shit about those people to the other people to cause them to not like each other, not want to communicate with each other, not want to have anything to do with each other, while she goes back and forth talking shit about the other person. And then, which gossiping, talking shit. And so then those people will never ever communicate to each other. They'll never, in essence, compare stories. They'll never do anything like that. Like, one of the first things that they'll do is they'll make sure that you're demonized to the family, so that the family does not want to have anything to do with you, does not want to communicate with you, doesn't want nothing. They'll just immediately assume that everything that's being said is true. And they'll alienate you. They'll start over time, they'll start making it clear they don't like you. And it always happens when she starts to get bored, or she needs that energy, she needs that negative recharge. Only a demon or a succubus needs that much chaos in their fucking life to keep going and feeling good about themselves. Very fucked up evil people do that shit. No, I don't feel safe around that woman. I don't feel safe. No. I don't feel safe being here. And as far as I know, we're 30 miles apart at the moment. But I don't feel safe anywhere in the state where she's concerned. Because she's also shown that even when I'm 300 miles away, she still kept her shit going. She still kept that crap happening. And in the process, she was still continuing to demonize me there online while she was abusing the shit out of me, even from 300 miles away. She can still do it now. I mean, crap, she did it yesterday. She just, yeah. She thinks she's invincible and she can get away with anything. And karma's going to set her up with somebody who's going to truly treat her the way she tells everybody that I've treated her. I have to question how much of the shit that was from her previous relationship is true now. I have to re-evaluate everything from the last 12 fucking years alone. And now it's caused me to have to reevaluate when we were together back in high school. Because then it's actually answered why she did what she did where my friend was concerned, where my cousin was concerned. It actually, when you go further back, it explains why she tried killing her mom a few times as a child and beating her mom up. I know this woman. And people don't realize that. That's what makes me dangerous to her. I know as much dirt about her and her family as she does about me and mine. I know how her mom got to where she is in life. I know how her sister got to where she is in life. And I know how Melissa got to where she is in life. I was one of those tools she used to get there. And some would say it's a family thing. Well, it is to a degree because she was taught very well by her mom. And ironically, her mom used to be a really fucking awesome person. She's still an awesome person to different ones. But the person I knew from a long time ago to now, they're two different people. That's the same with Melissa. Two different fucking people. And now I have to question, was she even genuine back in high school? How do I know that wasn't a lie then, too? And that the last 28 fucking years, from the time I was 14 years old, how much of it was real? The only part of it that was obviously real was how I was being treated by her and her husband, and how they were using my child to punish me as a punishing tool. That's the only part that I can look back and go, that 12 years showed me who she really was, what she really was, and who she'll always be. And nobody else will experience that because she can't have kids for one anymore. So unless she does it to them with their kids. And I'll tell you right now, she don't have to have kids with you to fucking wreck your relationship with your kids, because she did that with me and my youngest. And no remorse. I mean, as she said, I'm sorry that I say things that I don't mean that are hurtful. You know, when I get mad and all, I know I destroyed the relationship between you and the boys, and a whole lot of other relationships involved, you know, but, you know, you're just going to have to deal with the consequences, and sometimes those consequences aren't good. I was supposed to just deal with her shit talking and destroying my life and relationships with my kids and family and friends and all that because she'd get mad. I was supposed to just deal with it. Like I said, the more I start looking back on all this at this point, yes, it still doesn't change my feelings about her. That it just doesn't. I'm still in love with that woman. I'm gonna forever miss her. Yes, I wish she was a part of this move. Yes, I wish she was a part of this transition in life. Yes, I wish she would get rid of the toxic people out of her fucking life who have been influencing her and influencing these narcissistic personality traits of her to really come out. I applaud our son for doing what he's done. Whether him and I get along or not, whether we like each other or not, I applaud him for doing what he's doing. He may be even in this process screwing my dad over, but at least there's an out for him to be able to deal with that trailer and get rid of it without getting his credit completely fucked by his grandchild, my son. So there's at least a safe out on that aspect. But I do respect my son and why he left. It's not just because of my bullshit. It's not just because of his mother's or his grandmother. I think it's a combination of all that. And then the influencing that he was getting from an ex of his family. No, I got to a point that I've been planning for a long time to go as far away as possible from here. And if things worked out between her and I, and had worked out, I wanted her there with. I wanted us to have a nicer home that we can afford, that if it came down to it, just like here, that I could afford on my own, but won't be so financially fucking me over like it has been for the last 4 years. You know, they say they don't need a food stamp card, but they've only had this high paying job for the last maybe 6 months or so, and it's gone to their head. You know, like her friend calls her, Mrs. Moneybags. Her friend only fucking knew. Because, yeah, Melissa knows what pisses her friend off, knows exactly how to trigger her friend, and she'll do that shit every now and then. I watched her do it. And all it takes is for her to talk to her friend's husband. Just, that's all it takes. And half the time I wonder, how much do they actually talk behind that woman's back? There's a lot of questions I have at this point because of how much lying that's gone on, how much demonization that's gone on, all of it. I'm not free of that woman. Even after selling this house and this next weekend, because of what she pulled yesterday, this next weekend, my oldest brother, and then my father and all that, and then I might be able to get some assistance from my neighbors, and we're going to be knocking out getting the packing done here and getting stuff loaded into the pod storage thing and locked up. So that way we can get all this shit out of here that's being taken. I mean, a lot of these old little plastic drawer things, these dirty little fucking things, I'm just loading what I can into those since I don't have a shit ton of boxes. What boxes I do have are for my movies of all things. But then once I get to where I'm going, I'm taking all those little drawer things, all those little plastic organizer, Sterilite, stained bullshit, and it's all going to a dumpster. If it's not going to a dumpster, it's going directly to a recycling facility if it can be recycled. But I'm not keeping the shit. It's just, at this point, I'm having to use it pretty much as a box. The futon I'm on, my old main bed in the bedroom. We also have kind of like one of those hospital-style beds. You know, there's, leaving all of it. Leaving the kitchen plates. I'm leaving pretty much the kitchen utensils. I might take one spatula, set of tongs, that type of thing. I am taking my cast iron, but everything else is staying. The coffee table that this is sitting on is staying. Basically, yeah, all the appliances are staying. Everything's basically staying other than what is needed to move shit. And my personal stuff. Any books, any items that are still hers, that's getting left here. It's not mine. And she wants to get upset that it's all getting left here. She probably should have thought about that before she started cheating and lying to my face, and then, you know, having already went out and applied for another apartment and all this other shit, and didn't have the room to fucking move it. You can't be lying to your other half and cheating on them, and then threaten them that you're going to call the police on them if they're at the house when you're there, and then demand that they come back and help you move so you can continue to have cheat and have a relationship with someone else. That whole thing was a setup. That was an attempted setup. And I think even her mother was a part of that one. And if her mother wasn't, her mother's fucking naive and stupid too. Even though her mom's borderline narcissistic herself. That her own daughter was even willing to put her in the middle of something like that. I do find it entertaining, though, that a woman doesn't know how to put the toilet seat down. Because it's usually women that are telling you, put the fucking toilet seat down. Yeah, I'm laughing about this right now and all, but it's because I'm trying to keep my mind in a positive place with all this. She scared the shit out of me yesterday, and she still does. She scares the shit out of me, plain and simple. Because that woman does not care about who she hurts. She can have a history with somebody for nearly 30 years like myself and have no remorse, no care in the fucking world on how she treated me. And no fucking care in the world on how badly she destroyed my life and then fucking destroyed her child's life by the way she fucking raised him and created that predicament. She didn't give a shit that she was starting to drain my family financially because they were trying to help us out while Mrs. Moneybags doesn't need food stamp cards that she steals. That she had control of basically the entire time being here. The one thing that she knew I wasn't immediately broke on. And the only reason why I was starting to be able to afford to at least buy a new hat once in a while or get certain things once in a while is because I started selling t-shirts online. I started to get a different income. It wasn't much. It was just a little one. You know, an extra, $1,500 a month, $50 to $100 a month type thing. Narcissists don't like it when you start creating an income for yourself because then they don't have control of that income, and then they'll find a way to control it by making you pay more. That's how they'll do it. They don't always have to like take the money from your bank account or be a part of your bank account. All they have to do is make sure that you're stuck paying for all the bills so that way you have no money at the end. While they're keeping all of theirs for whatever they want. That's exploitation. And when you do that to somebody who's disabled, elderly and all that, that's financial exploitation, which is extremely illegal. It's federally illegal in this country. The problem is people like her can get away with it because they have county officials and all that shit protecting their ass when they're abusing people at home. She has the power to destroy a family at will with her job. She can have children taken away at will with her job. She's a dangerous person. And she doesn't give a fuck what she does to people. All she cares about is when people call her out on her shit. All she cares about is how she feels and what she's getting out of things. She doesn't care about anything else. She wants you to believe it. And at times, you genuinely start to think, well, maybe she really does give a shit about it. No, all she cares about is what she's getting. Whether it's off of you suffering, off of your fucking pain, off of your bleeding and tears, off of your financial income, it doesn't matter. She will take everything fucking from you. And if she can, she will leave you in a worse position than she found you. She does not build you up. She drains you while you build her up. until she breaks down again. And if things fall apart, she can't get out of you what she needs anymore, then she tries to find it somewhere else. That's why she started cheating on me every 3 to 6 months over the last 4 years. She's looking for that. She needs those other sources of negative energy to keep her going. She needs that constant chaos to thrive. And when people take it away from her, you're going to watch her go batshit crazy. You're going to see the truth and who she really is. I shouldn't have had to sell my home and have to basically flee the state and go as far as fucking away as possible where this fucking woman's concerned. Abuse does not just involve physical harm in any way. The majority of abuse that's done in this country is all mental, psychological, and financial.